Hi dear students, in this presentation we will start our fourth module, and the topics to cover in the fourth module are resources and its utilization, basic concepts of conventional and non-conventional energy, general idea about solar energy, fuel cells, wind energy, small hydro plants, biofuels, and energy derived from ocean and geothermal energy. So basically in this module we will be initially discussing about conventional energies and non-conventional, what is the difference and between conventional energy and non-conventional energy, what is conventional energy and what is non-conventional energy, and after onwards we will be basically concentrating on non-conventional source of energy or simply a renewable source of energy in this module. Okay, so moving to the first topic, that is concept of energy. Energy is a quantitative property that must be transferred to an object in order to perform work on, or to heat the object. Simply, we will say energy is capacity to do work. Okay. So unit of energy is joule, and also in SI unit it is expressed as Newton meter. So 1 Newton meter is equal to 1 joule. Now coming to the simple classification of sources of energy. The source of energy can be simply classified into two categories mainly. First is conventional sources, other one is non-conventional sources. So the conventional sources are further classified as commercial as well as non-commercial. Coal, petroleum, electricity are coming under commercial source of energy, and firewood, straw, dried dung all are coming under non-commercial source of energy. And coming to non-conventional source of energy, the major contributors are bioenergy, solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, energy from urban waste, as well as geothermal energy. It is missing the okay. So a lot of classifications are there as far as energy is concerned. Another classifications based on some other parameters are: first one, based on nature of availability of the energy. The energy can be classified into two. The first one is primary resources and the second one is secondary resources. Primary resources are those form of energy directly found or stored in nature. So either found or stored in nature. The resources of energy which are either found or stored directly in nature are known as primary resources. Example, coal. Coal we are directly getting from the natural reserves. Solar energy is directly available. Tidal energy. All these are natural gas, etc. are directly available. So that is what is known as primary sources. And coming to the secondary resources, these types of energies are derived from primary resources. So if conversion is taking place to another form of energy, then it is what is known as secondary resources. So derived from primary resources, the energies derived from primary resources are known as secondary resources. Electrical energy from coal. See, coal itself is a resource of energy. If we burn it, we will get the energy as in the form of heat energy. And it is coming under primary resources. But if coal is burned and steam is produced, and steam is used to produce the electricity to run the generators, and finally to run the turbines to produce the mechanical power, and that is coupled to generator to produce the electricity. In that case, the energy available from the coal is converted to another form of useful form of energy, that is electrical energy. So electrical energy is actually a secondary source of energy. Like that, hydrogen from hydrolysis of water are example for secondary resources. Now based on traditional use, we will simply classify into conventional source of energy and non-conventional source of energy. Conventional, as the word indicates, it is conventionally that we are using for very long time. We are using it as a source of energy. They have been traditionally in use since a long time. That is the meaning of conventional energy. So the energy or the resources used traditionally for a long time includes coal, firewood, petroleum, natural gas. All these we have been using for a very long time, conventionally or traditionally. So that's why these are coming under conventional source of energy. And coming to non-conventional, non-conventional means recent developments. The energy resources which are developed recently are known as non-conventional. That is developed in recent past and is still developing. For example, solar energy. I think it came into existence. The solar conversion technologies came into existence around 30 to 40 years back only. So this will be coming under non-conventional. Solar energy, similarly wind energy, tidal energy, all these technologies has been developed right now only, recently only. So these most of the non-renewable source of energy are classified under non-conventional source of energy. So in a simple way, we can say that most of the conventional source of energy are renewable source of energy, sorry, non-renewable source of energy, and most of the non-conventional are renewable source of energy. Now, next classification is based on long-term availability. Based on long-term availability, the energy resources are divided into non-renewable as well as renewable. Non-renewable means derived from finite and static stocks of energy, often exist in a fixed amount and are consumed much faster than nature can create them. That is important. So, if our consumption rate is much higher than nature can produce it, is known as non-renewable. So, what happens is, if the time goes on, its amount is getting depleted. That is what is happening. അപ്പം അതിൻ്റെ നമ്മൾ ഉപയോഗം കൂടുന്തോറും കുറഞ്ഞു വരും, അതിൻ്റെ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ പ്രൊപ്പോർഷനായിട്ട് ഉൽപ്പാദിപ്പിക്കപ്പെടാതിരിക്കുക. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് നോൺ റിന്യൂവബിൾ. Example is coal. See, coal, it requires millions of years to convert its form from decay, wood to its coal, the finest form of coal. So it takes years and years, millions of years it requires, but we are consuming it in a fraction of seconds. So the consumption, if the consumption rate is very high compared to the renewable rate or the production rate, then we will include it in the non-renewable category. Coal, oil and fossil fuels all are coming under this one, under this category. And renewable means direct in nature but can be subsequently replenished. So it is plenty in available and it is directly available in nature. That types of energies are known as renewable source of energy. For example, solar. However, we are using, still it exists. So solar, wind, tidal, everything is example for renewable source of energy. It will not deplete at all. So plenty availability is there. We are utilizing only, if solar energy is concerned, maximum we are utilizing around 1% of it. Still 99% of its percentage is left unused. So if we have the right technology to convert the solar energy into useful form of energy, then that itself will be sufficient for the entire mankind. Okay, based on commercial applications. The next classification is based on commercial application. Non-commercial energy source and commercial energy source are the classification coming under this one. Commonly available and less expensive is usually called commercial energy sources. Wood, agro waste, animal dung, etc. is coming under commercial energy source. Non-commercial. And commercial energy source means fuels which are capital intensive. Petroleum products, electricity, etc. are coming under this category. So, and another classification is based on its origin, from where it is originated, energy is originated. We can classify the resources, energy resources, into fossil fuel energy. If the energy obtained is derived from the fossil fuels like petroleum, diesel, coal, everything is from fossil fuels, natural gas. So it is coming under fossil fuel classification. Based on origin, it is basically fossil fuel energy. And if the energy is derived from nuclear reactions, then we will call it as nuclear energy. Similarly, if the energy is produced from energy possessed by the water, then it is potential energy of the water, then it is hydro energy. Similarly, energy from sun, solar energy, energy from wind energy. Biomass means it is the energy from the degradable decay or waste and all, and everything which is having carbohydrates is converted to energy. That is what is known as biomass. നമ്മുടെ മരങ്ങളായാലും എന്താ പറയുക, ബാക്കിയുള്ള വേസ്റ്റുകളായാലും, എനിത്തിങ് വിച്ച് വി ക്യാൻ ഡിക്കേ ഈസ് കൺവേർട്ടഡ് ഇൻ ടു എനർജി ഈസ് നോൺ ആസ് ബയോമാസ്. Then comes geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is the energy which is produced by utilizing the thermal difference in the layers of the earth. Okay, so if you go towards the center of the earth, the temperature is going to be much higher. So that property is being utilized and is converted into energy is known as geothermal energy. And then comes the tidal energy, of course, energy from tide, and ocean thermal energy. See, just like geothermal, we can extract the energy from the different levels of the ocean. See that if we go into the depth of the ocean, the temperature is going to be less, and at the top layer we will have the higher temperature. This temperature difference is utilized to produce the energy, then that is what is known as ocean thermal energy. Now our topic is conventional energy and non-conventional energy. That is what is only discussed in our syllabus. I don't know up to what depth the question will be coming. So anyway, we will discuss somewhat about conventional energy and non-conventional energy. Conventional sources of energy are the natural energy resources which are present in a limited quantity and are being used for a long time. So most of the conventional sources of energy are limited in availability, and we are using it for a very long time. That types of energy is known as conventional energy. They are called non-renewable sources, as once they are depleted, they cannot be generated at the speed which can sustain its consumption rate. See, they are also conventional source of energy are commonly also known as renewable source of energy. The reason is most of the conventional source of energy, once it is depleted, the renewal rate is not same as that of the depletion rate. So that's why it is known as non-renewable source of energy. They are formed from decaying matter over hundreds of millions of years. Some common examples of conventional source of energy include coal, petroleum, natural gas, and electricity. Among this electricity, if it is hydel electricity production, then at least we can consider that as uh, renewable. All other, see, coal, petroleum, natural gas, everything is coming under non-renewable category. So most of the conventional source of energy are non-renewable itself. Now coming to the non-conventional energy, non-conventional source of energy are the energy sources which are continuously replenished by natural processes. So plenty availability of resources there. So it will not deplete even if we use in a large rate. That is what is known as non-conventional energy sources. These cannot exhausted easily, can be generated constantly, so can be used again and again. They are called renewable sources as they can be replaced through natural process at a rate equal to or greater than the rate at which they are consumed. Some common examples of non-conventional sources of energy include solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, biomass energy, and geothermal energy, etc. are examples for non-conventional source of energy. So in university, we can have a question, explain any three different types of conventional energy, something like that. If they are asking, then you must have a basic idea what are non-conventional source of energy, and you have to explain it in detail. Anyway, non-conventional source of energy we will be discussing in detail in the upcoming presentation. So for your kind information, I am just sharing few slides regarding conventional source of energy also at the end of this presentation. So coming to the conventional source, difference between these two, conventional and non-conventional source of energy. Conventional source of energy are not abundant and present in limited quantity. Example, coal, petroleum, natural gas. Whereas non-conventional, these sources of energy are abundant in nature. Solar energy, wind energy, all these are examples that we have already discussed. Now, conventional sources of energy have been in use for a long time, but non-conventional, they are developed in recent years only. Conventional source of energy, they are not replenished continuously, they are formed over a million of years, but they are non-conventional source of energy are replenished continuously by the natural processes. Now, fourth point is they can be exhausted completely due to overconsumption and except for hydel power. See, most of the conventional source of energy can be completely exhausted due to consumption except hydel power. So out of conventional source, hydel power only we can consider it as somewhat renewable. We can't say it is completely renewable, but still we will be categorizing it under renewable source of energy. All other are non-renewable source of energy, but coming to non-conventional, they cannot be exhausted completely. Now the fifth point is they pollute the environment by emitting harmful gases and also contribute to global warming. That is the main disadvantages related to conventional source of energy, whereas most of the non-conventional source of energy are environment friendly and do not pollute the environment. See, solar energy is not producing any environment pollution. Wind energy, everything is not creating much pollution on environment. The sixth point is they are commonly used for industrial and commercial purposes. So the main use of conventional energy is in the field of industrial as well as commercial purposes. Bulk amount of energy is required at a faster rate in a short period. Then usually we will be going for conventional source of energy. The reason is the non-conventional energy. For non-conventional energy, we don't have that much technologies to produce huge amount of energy within a small time. So that's why we are always depending on conventional source of energy for the industrial as well as commercial purposes, whereas the non-conventional source of energy are mostly utilized for the household purposes. And they coming to the last point, conventional source of energy, they are called non-renewable source of energy, and usually the non-conventional source of energy is commonly known as renewable source of energy. Now, as I told, I will be discussing the major, just in a class I will be explaining the major conventional source of energy. First one is coal. Coal is the most widespread fossil fuel around the world and are and more than 75 countries have coal deposits. The current share of coal in global power generation is over 40%, but it is expected to decrease in the coming years. So all these are anyway. I will be sharing this slide. You can go through the slide. That will be enough, I think. So if the question is coming like this, write a note about any 3 conventional, so any 4 conventional source of energy, then you can answer. That's all the my motto behind these slides. So coal play a major role in supporting the development of baseload electricity where it is most needed. Coal-fired electricity will be fed into the national grids and it will bring energy access to the millions, thus facilitating economic growth in the developing world. Most of the thermal power plants are working with the use of coal as the fuel. And I have mentioned one term here, base load electricity. Base load electricity means most of the power plant will have 2 production units. One is to meet the base load. Base load means that base load plant will be continuously running for 24 hours. And it is producing this much megawatt of energy. If some during the entire day the load will not remain constant. See, in daytime and all, the consumption of the electricity will be less. At that time only the base load plant will be running. If the during the peak time, see, during night and all, around 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. The consumption of the electricity will be much higher. At that time we require more energy to produce in the power plant. So at that time only the peak load plants will be running. So whenever the peak load demand is there, the peak load plant will be running. Otherwise the peak load plant will be shut down and base load plant only will be running. So that is the difference between base load plant and peak load plant. So base load, if you want to operate the peak load plant, it has to start instantly and it has to stop within a limited time. So if you want to make it possible, then only option is to go for the oil or natural gas as the fuel. If coal is being used, if once it is stopped, means it requires very large time to start it again. Or for the initial combustion, it will take a long time. Large amount of oxygen is required for the starting of the combustion, and once the heat and for the initiation of the combustion, large amount of extra heat is to be supplied. So what they will do is they will continuously run the coal power plants. They will never stop it. Okay, so continuous firing will be there. It will be operating for 24 hours. Now next major conventional source of energy is the oil. Oil means petrol, diesel, everything is coming under this category. Global oil reserves are almost 60% large today than the 20 years ago, and the production oil has gone up to 25%. Oil still the premier energy a resource with a wide range of possible applications. Its main use, however, will be shifting towards transport and the petrochemical sector. So it is mainly utilized in transport as well as petrochemical sector. In future, oil's position at the top of the energy ladder will face a strong challenge from other fuels such as natural gas. See, right now we are mostly depending on the oil like diesel, petrol, etc. But in near future, it will be facing challenge from natural gas. Natural gas is slightly increasing its importance because of its non-polluting nature compared to this one, diesel and petrol. As well as it is easy to use also. Oil is a mature global industry which offers the market participants opportunities for good economic returns. Now coming to the next one, that is natural gas. Natural gas is yet another fossil fuel resource that will continue to make significant contribution to the world energy economy. The cleanest of all fossil based fuels, I have already told, this one is the cleanest of all fossil based fuel, means it is producing much less pollution compared to other fossil fuels. Natural gas is plentiful and flexible. It is increasingly used in most efficient power generation technologies such as combined cycle gas turbines. Combined cycle means cycles which is combining different types of fuel. Coal is fired to produce energy, as well along with that coal fired power plant we will be having natural gas fired power plants also. That is what is known as combined cycle. With conversion efficiencies about 60%, the world is turning its attention to unconventional energy resources. Shale gas is one of them. Shale gas is one of the classification of the natural gas. Shale gas means അടിയിലുള്ള പാറേൻ്റെ ഇടയിലൊക്കെയുള്ള വോയിഡ്സിൽ കുടുങ്ങി കിടക്കുന്ന ഗ്യാസിനാണ് ഷെയിൽ ഗ്യാസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. It has turned upside down the North American gas markets and it is making significant strides in the region. See, in few regions, a large amount of shale gas deposits are identified, and for an example, North America, they have identified a very large collection of the shale gas. So, of course, such vast collection is identified means that will be definitely making change over the markers. Shale gas refers to natural gas that is trapped within the shale formation. Shales are fine-grained sedimentary rocks that can be rich source of petroleum and natural gases. See, such types of rocks are known as shale rocks, and the natural gases trapped in between the space of these fine-grained sedimentary rocks are known as shale gas. Now coming to the next category, that is nuclear. Nuclear also is a conventional source of energy, and energy is derived, of course, from the nuclear reaction. Uranium is the main source of fuel for nuclear reactors, and rest I think you will be knowing how it is working, how it works and all. That is familiar to you in 12th standard and all. Anyway, in our syllabus it is not being discussed, so no need to go much into it. But if it is asked, you have to write something about nuclear energy. That's all. For that only I am showing this slide. So that is all about the conventional. One more conventional source of energy is hydropower. The last conventional source of energy is the hydropower. Hydropower provides a significant amount of energy throughout the world, and it is present in more than 100 countries. I know hydropower is the energy produced from the potential energy of the water stored. So it is, of course, we can consider it as a renewable source of energy. Only conventional energy which can be included in renewable category is the hydropower. The top 5 largest markets for hydropower in terms of capacity are Brazil, Canada, China, Russia, and United States of America. In many cases, the growth in hydropower was facilitated by the renewable energy support policies and CO2 penalties. See, if we use the conventional thermal power plants for the energy production, it is producing lot of pollution to the environment. So in that case, we will be preferring hydro power plants, but we cannot implement the hydro power stations in everywhere. Only everything is suitable, then only we can opt the hydropower. Availability of water should be there, and also the required facility or the land should be to withstand the construction of the dam and everything. If the geographical factors and as well as the availability of water, all these things supporting for hydropower, then only we can implement it. But thermal power plant we can install anywhere, no problem. Only requirement is coal is to be carried up to the point where we are producing energy. That is the only thing we have to take care of. But hydropower we cannot install everywhere. Based on the feasibility only we can install. Over the past 2 decades, the total global installed hydropower capacity has increased by 55%, while the actual generation is increased only by 21%, mainly due to water shortages. By capacity base, see, every plant will have a capacity. This much is the megawatt is the capacity of this particular station. See, Idukki is having this much megawatt capacity, but always it is not producing that much up to the capacity mark. So if the water shortage is there, then of course the production also will be less. So 55% by capacity we have increase in production, but as far as actual production is concerned, only 21% extra is being produced nowadays. So that is all about hydropower. So I think the rest are renewable source of energy, or we can say it is non-conventional source of energy, that we will discuss one by one in the next presentation. Okay, thank you.